All right, so we are back. We've gone ahead and created our function that updates the label here. And now what we want to do is we want to update the model at the end of the day as well. So let's go ahead and do just that. So what we will do is once we've gone through each prediction and updated those, we will also fire off one here, and that will be update the model, and we will have to pass in the data. So right above here, we can say, let's go ahead and have a function that update the model. Great. Take in some data. Cool. So let's just get to it. So we're going to run a transaction, and the transaction takes a function, and we're going to pass in, this is going to be the model stats that we get. And then because this is a transaction and it may return null, and it's going to return null at first, we need to say if the model stats is not equal to null, then we do this. And this is what took me forever to figure out you have to do. Kind of a pain. Otherwise, we'll say else we're going to return a 0, and that's going to make it re-trigger, trying to fire it off again and get it to work again. Now it's very similar to the last, the one above. So what we're going to say now is if the data overall score, that's less than 0, because that means it didn't get anything, then we will say let the object to return, I'm going to say no guess, and that's going to be the model stats dot no guess plus 1. And realistically, you can then just return object to return. Okay. Otherwise, we will do something else. So if it's if there is something there, then we're going to let the current average precision equal the model stats dot average precision. We're going to let the current min equal the model stats dot min. Let the current max equal the model stats dot max. I'm going to let the current inference count equal model stats dot the inference count. Okay, and then we're going to say var min is going to be equal to the current minimum. And if the current minimum is less than the data we have, overall score, then we want to use the current min. Else, we want to use data dot overall score. Current max, if that's greater than the data overall score, then the current max will be data dot overall score. Great. we got to do our average precision calculation. And that's equal to our current inference. Oh, we just want to make sure that first it's not 0. So if the current average precision equals 0, then that means this is the first one of the day. And so then what we want to say is the data should just be equal to the overall score. Else we do our thing. So we do current inference count times the current average precision. And then we're going to add in the data dot overall score. And we're going to divide it by the current inference count plus 1. Okay. Next, we'll need our hist, and we have that right up here. But it's not going to be label stats, it would be the model stats. So I use Control D to select them all, and then Control V. Great. And then we can do the same thing we have here. You could break these out into another function so we're not repeating ourselves and we keep our code dry, but I just want this running. So we have the new this is going to be our new model histogram value, and it's equal to the data dot overall score. So I'll copy that, and then Control D and V to change them all at once. Great, we're almost done here. Now we can say the hist of the new model histogram value. So we're setting this object's value, and that's going to be the histogram of the same thing, new model histogram value, and we're just going to add 1 to it. All right, so now all we have to do is return our object, and this is the object that is going to be rewritten. So we're going to do average precision, the overall score will be, again, the average precision, the inference count will be the current inference count plus 1, the max will be the max, the min will be the min, the mean will be the average precision, the median will be 0 for now, the mode will be 0 for now, no guess, the model stats dot no guess. Hist. Great. Boom, 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 boom. We can now go to that. We can see everything in there, and then we can do Firebase Deploy. Only functions. Deploying that will cause us to update the model. So when we go back to our React app here, and if we go to the demo, to make sure it uploads, we can go back through this really quickly. So when we update our model, we're running a transaction. A transaction goes into our database and helps preserve order and count and things like that. And so what we don't want to do is perform inference 4 or 5 times and update the average precision at time 3, and then have when the 4th one comes in, it updated off of number 3 or the previous one, number 2. We want them to be in order and preserve order. And so that's what Firebase will do on the back end for us. So that's why model stats sometimes is null, is because it'll go in and actually go to the cache first. And in our cache, we're not going to have the most currently updated value. So it's going to return null, and then at some point later in time, it will retry again. And that's why we have to first do this null check and return 0. Once we actually have the transaction goes through and we have our information, we can then go ahead and manipulate it as we please, which is what we do here, just setting our variables, performing a little bit of math to see if we have a new minimum, new maximum, what's going on, and then ultimately returning the value to our dashboard. So it's all done, updated. We can go here. We can update a screenshot of a car. Car has been uploaded. We can go to our auto inference page to have it auto inference. It will then inference it. Come on, baby. What's going on here? Oh, there it goes. Sometimes it's a little slow to get it loaded, and then it does that. Oh, and what do you know? Label stats. I think what it wants is to import JSON. So go downloads. Make sure you have the values in there, and then let's try it again. Let's go back. It will re-upload the image for us. We can go back to our auto inference. It will perform inference on it. And then, boom, the label has been updated. It got an 83 overall. Let's see, that's because car is 99 and car is 67. It's not a car there, but yeah, the minimum, the max, and then our average. So pretty cool. We could also, do a few other things to like maybe store the IDs of the exact ones, but ultimately it won't be that hard to query for a minimum value or a maximum value in our Firestore database. So we can always go to Cloud Firestore, inferenced images, and we'll be able to look for an overall score between a certain number. The other option would be to pull out some of these labels to a higher level. So, great. And that's it.